Hi, I'm Maya from Bookworm Dreams, and welcome to my Asian Readathon reading vlog. For Asian Readathon, I decided to read The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I will be listening to audio and following along in the book because this thing has over 600 pages, so it will be easier for me to do it that way. So basically, in this book, we follow a kingdom uh, which is about, empire, which is about to get into big turmoil because the emperor is dying, and everyone's, when an emperor dies, so everyone's sort of trying to, get what they can. And we follow two characters. I think we follow a bandit and a vengeance sworn son of a deposed duke. And together they sort of cross paths and somehow lead the rebellion against the emperor's regime. So this is by Ken Liu. He won a bunch of awards, Hugo, Nebula, World Fantasy Awards for his short stories. He also translates a lot of sci-fi fantasy work from China because he's Chinese American. So yeah, from China, I guess. For the American audience, or for the English speaking audience, I guess. But before I actually get to this, the reason I started this vlog on a Tuesday is because I had to finish Black Sun by Rebecca Rollinghurst, which I did because we have our book club meeting tonight. And since I picked a book, I'm supposed to lead the discussion. I'm just gonna spend a couple of hours watching the various live shows so I can, come up with good questions. I have some questions in mind while I'm reading books. I usually just, some questions pop in my head and then I just immediately write them down. But, to sound more smarter and more prepared, I'm going to watch a bunch of live shows about this book and, steal their ideas because, they're probably going to discuss some things that I didn't think of or didn't pay attention. So, I'm going to go do that now. And then later today, I'll start this book. I'm excited. It's going to be interesting. Hi, I actually read something today. So I listened to the audiobook while I was cleaning my windows. I would show you how clean they are, but I don't think it shows well on my camera. I did have a cleaning assistant who basically did this the entire time. But what can you do? So I'm now on page 110 of this book. Basically, the rule is same as every other humongous fantasy book. The first 100 pages is for setting up the story. and then we continue on with the story. So in the first 100 pages, we meet the three characters that we are following. So we meet the, what was it? The disgraced, no, wait, what was it? Vengeance sworn son of the post duke. We met him. His name is Mata. He and his uncle Finn barely survived the sort of sacking of their house, and now have spent their time training and preparing to overthrow the government, I guess. And then we do meet the charismatic bandit. So basically, that is Kumi. Is it Kumi? I keep forgetting his name. Cooney, sorry, Cooney. So Cooney has a very fascinating story. I love his story. He's very charming and entertaining. He's like he doesn't know what to do with his life, so he goes through life sort of. He's very smart. He's very kind, but he's also trying to be present himself a bit rougher and gruffer than he is, and he basically went through life just having fun and not doing what his parents want him to do, and then he falls in love, and him and his wife Gia, basically have an interesting life because his motto, which she now takes on, is like, I always choose the more interesting path. So that created very interesting diversions in his story. So basically, he's now working for the man, and there is also rebellion brewing because this old emperor who dies in the first like 50 pages or so, because he's very, very old, but he has created a very interesting society, and he has basically sort of had a vision of his kingdom. And we also meet the sort of higher being, different gods, and that are sort of not in control, but somehow controlling their the path and destiny of the entire land of Dara. So yeah, the emperor kind of made this. I don't want to say scientific strides, but he paved the way for, and also ordered people to create things and you sort of unify all of his conquered lands, and he's very brutal about it. And when he dies, his like advisors and prime minister basically plot to put not the firstborn son in power, but the youngest one, or the second one, I don't know. The youngest one, I think he's 12, in power, so they can reign instead of him. And it's just I hate that part because I don't like when people are mean. But yeah, the world is created, the players are set, and I think the plot is now about to happen. What I was starting to say, but I took completely changed tracks. Right, there's a prophecy. So basically, in this kingdom, since the emperor has many grand plans, he needs people to build them. So he conscripts peasants and stuff to go and build his like underwater tunnels and whatever, his graveyard mausoleum thingy. So basically, one of the group of like workers is on their way to the, let's say, working site, and they got orders to be there in like a specific amount of time. Because of bad weather they can't get there in that specific time, and so they're kind of like, okay, let's just have a night of doing whatever we want, eating food and drinking, because we're dead anyway. So while they're doing this, they buy a big fish, and in this fish people find a scroll which says one of the captains, I forget his name, is supposed to be king. So they take that as the sign from the gods, and then they start a rebellion. And it starts from there. So it's interesting. I'm enjoying it so far. But yeah, I get why the series is called, I think, the Dandelion Dynasty, because Gia explains why the dandelion is the best flower, very versatile and everything. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. Hopefully I'll get to read more today. But yeah, so far so good. Hi. Well, it's the next day. It's like 7:30 in the afternoon. I got to page 200 last night, which is great. It's like around 30% of the book. It's the book is way over there. It's too far for me to get. Basically, Cooney, one of the gangster guy, the bandit, whatever. He's not failing upwards, but he's just with his charm and his the way he treats people. So all the sort of forgotten and disadvantaged are flocking to him, and he went back to his hometown or home province, let's say, and became duke somehow. And the basically the entire empire is slowly getting enrolled into the rebellion, and the people who are supposed to be in charge, controlling, I guess, the emperor, just do not care. They're sort of ruled by their own petty like grievances, and they're not thinking for the benefit of the empire. They're basically thinking about themselves. I mean, they are accumulating power, but they're not doing much with it, just controlling the group of people they have around themselves. And that's why I think the empire will fall apart. Yeah, so the other set of characters that we follow, I think his name is not Mako, but something that starts with M, I know. The one whose father was killed long ago, and he's trying to avenge him with his uncle. Basically, they are going around and looking at all the kings that sort of, let's just say, popped up, and seeing whether they have the strength and anything, so they can, like, I guess, join forces and attack the emperor and his forces. But that's not going well for them. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it a lot. It's not as boring as I thought it would be, because usually when you read this ginormous fantasy books, it's like, so much setup and so much, you're supposed to learn the history of the place, but it's very interesting, and it's the chapters are shorter, so it goes by faster. But yeah, I'm enjoying it myself so much. I'm gonna go start reading now. So we'll see how far. Hopefully, I will get to 50% of the book today. So that would be, I think, another at least 150 pages today. So I think that's doable. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do that today, and hopefully finish the book during the weekend so I can focus on other stuff. But yeah, so far so good. When I get books and don't read them for a really long time, I'm always like, well, why aren't I reading this? I bought it for a reason and everything. But now I'm starting, and it's good. So it's interesting. So so far so good. Hopefully it doesn't like spoil itself, and not spoil itself. Hopefully it doesn't go bad in the next 400 pages that I have left. But so far the beginning is good. So yeah, till next time. All right. Oh, what wonderful lighting. Okay, so it's 10:30 at night. I'm now on page 300 of this monstrosity. Yeah, I'm on a halfway point right now, and I am having such a wonderful time with this book. So, first of all, it is giving me such Stranger Dreamer, no, Stranger Dreamer, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell vibes, that it's amazing. Each chapter, I mean, they're short chapters, and each chapter that is not closely connected to the, like, let's say, A plot. So, of the story, like of the main plot of, the rebellion against the emperor, and so is filled with like world building details that are so interesting. And it's so, I mean, I have to give props to, I think it's Michael Crayman, or probably, I don't know, the narrator of this book. He's doing such a wonderful job. I mean, and each chapter is just filled with information that's building up the world, and building like sort of secondary, tertiary characters that just have some influence on the story. And it's so interesting, and it's so like interwoven. I mean, there was a chapter of just the absurdity of like newfound kings, like so in this land, in the land of Dara, it's actually seven islands, right? There's a big island and some smaller islands and whatever. So in one of the islands, one of the dudes the dude becomes king after they fought off the imperial army, whatever. And basically, instead of worrying about the emperor sent his own army to come and, like take back his lands or whatever, he's basically spending time building his like palace. And so he is using his army to build a palace. So when the imperial army comes, basically his army knows more how to build things than to fight. Of course, then he loses the fight and everything. I mean, it's amazing. And then finally, our two main characters, so Kuni and Mata, meet and band together to sort of protect Kuni's city from the imperial army. And the way those two balance each other, it's such a fun, really fun friendship to read about. And now this is going to be spoilery, so for anyone who hasn't read this, like I don't know, skip this part, whatever. Now I just finished a section of Princess. See, this is why I have to write names down, because I don't know how to write names down. Hold on. Princess something. Kikomi. So I just finished the Princess Kikomi section. Now, when she was first introduced, she's basically she's not taken seriously because she's very beautiful, and she's only there to be like like a symbol for people to fight for, not someone who can influence things, and someone who can and she can talk knowledgeably about everything that has to do with leading a kingdom or whatever, military matters and so on. So after her city gets sort of sacked by the imperial army, she sort of makes a deal with the general of the army. I forgot his name. And I mean, what she does with this deal and how she tries to protect her people and then protect her island and everything. I mean, it was just, when she first appears, I'm like, oh, come on, just can we not have a female character that is just there to sow discord between our main characters and so on. But and like her section is just amazing. And I mean, it's awesome. I like what she does and how she manipulates everybody around her, and how she plays men because they have certain ideas and ideals they want to put her through, and they want to basically put on her, and she just plays to those ideals just to manipulate them into positions. And I mean, she just dealt a very, very heavy blow to the rebellion, but I'm just so interested in what's going to happen next. But I'm not going to continue reading because it's, as I said, it's 10:30. I'm just going to chill before I go to bed. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so much. So far, it's a five-star read. So yeah, looking forward to see what happens next. Hi, it's Saturday afternoon. It's after 4 p.m. I did a bunch of work today. I mean, around the house. And now I'm getting ready to read something. And I was gonna participate in the reading sprints that Steph from Steph Love is having with her friends. But this is what's been happening. So I've been trying to get it to work. But yeah, it's either my internet or whatever, it's giving me trouble. But anyway, yesterday I read around, let's see, 80 pages. And I stopped because, well, in these 80 pages, so basically the rebellion is not over, but it's getting close to being over. I think now there's going to be discussion about who is going to be, like, not the new emperor, but how they're going to organize the new state or whatever. I mean, there's something conflict here that is supposed to happen, because, I mean, basically the whole basic plot of this is over right now. So we see, I guess, the consequences of all. What is sort of giving me pause that in these 80 pages that I've read, the gods that are in this world are manipulating our heroes into being less than honorable. And that's kind of bothering me a little bit. So I basically took a break yesterday, and my sister was like, you have to watch Final Space on Netflix. So I watched season 1 of that. Oh, it's on.
Abercrombie.
You can probably hear it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna use the sprints to try and maybe finish the book today, or just get as far as I can today. What was I saying? Yes, the gods turning our main characters into less than honorable people. Yeah, so break. And now I'm going to continue on. Hopefully people will get back to what they were doing. I'm most concerned for is Mata, because he suffered the most. Uh, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But so far, I'm enjoying it very much. So yeah, but come on, sprints. All right, reading sprints. So it's past 8 p.m. I've read 150 pages, I think. Let me see. I think it was 150 pages. Even more. Yeah, more. 170 or so. I think I'm going to stop for now. Maybe continue later in the evening. I'm going to go eat dinner and watch a movie. So in these 150 pages, I have like 60 pages left till the end of the book. First of all, just, okay, this is going to be spoilers because I can't. So the premise of this book is we follow two unlikely friends, a bandit and a duke's son who has sworn vengeance. And the premise is we follow them as they topple the emperor of this kingdom. So I thought, as in any general fantasy book, this will last. At least, like, the final battle will finish. It will be the finale of the book, whatever, and in later books of the series, because there are two more, something will happen. So basically, like, halfway through, they toppled the emperor, they destroyed the empire, and there is, of course, conflict between our two characters, because either by error of man or manipulation from the gods, the stronger one, Mata, the warrior and everything, perceived Kuni's actions as insult, because he managed to get to the emperor, the whatever capital city, and catch the young emperor, the one who's like taken over after the old one died. And because the sort of the unofficial, the leader of the rebellion, some king, told them who catches the kid gets to be king. So Kuni sort of had a lot of luck and a lot of great people by his side, and he managed to do this, not with like wish to be a king, but to finish the rebellion so everything will end. And Mata found this very offensive, and since he's a great warrior and he's been kind of suffering because of woman trouble and whatever, he just went berserk, and he just basically threatened everyone, and he's very ruthless and everything. And they've managed to come to a sort of truce with Kuni putting on a performance and just saying what he did and what he wanted to do. And then later on, Mata basically used his power for awfulness and to be petty, and to just basically, he stranded Kuni on an island to be king of this basic rock of some sort, and kept his family away from him. And from then starts this sort of political and military intrigue that it was fascinating to read. First of all, because the whole silk punk thing that I read about that sort of starts in this book is shown here, because through like inventions and just ingenuity of people around him, Kuni managed to move from his island and conquer like neighboring islands, and then move towards becoming a greater force, and to challenge Mata. And now 50 pages left. So I guess the 50 pages will be them finally coming together to, I mean, their armies are fighting and everything, and there have been victories and losses and everything, but I guess the two of them sort of coming to a sort of agreement, I think, will be the last 50 pages. But I'll put that aside. The female characters in this book, like I expect them to act like, it's a court, and there's court intrigue, there's politics and everything, and there's of course the position of women in the society, as in every like medieval society, whatever, empire and so on. Women are considered less and everything. So there are two women in Kuni's life. First is his first wife, and then later on advice of his first wife, he gets a second wife, so he can like basically put Mata in a false sense of security that he's not gonna move from his island. and you would think that their relationship will be catty and adversarial. I mean, there is some of it there, but it's not, the main point of their relationship. So basically, the two of them have an understanding, and there's a whole sort of philosophy here. I mean, you follow not philosophy, but there's like a thought here of like love, of fetishizing love, of you have to be with the one person all the time, and so on. But here you can, like, there's like an idea where you can love more than one person, and Cooney being married to two women, having children with two women, sort of puts them in a very, very tricky position. But the relationship between the two women, you would think that it would be adversarial, and just that they would be awful to each other and be petty and mean and just cruel. But that didn't happen, and that made me so happy. We also follow another female character. Oh my god, I forgot her name. She is basically a brother of a fallen soldier, of Mata's one, but Mata doesn't recognize the soldier and everything, but he kept the woman by his side so that she would, because she was like the only one who treated him like not a whatever, treated him normally, let's say. And this woman is just the gods. The gods are just like, oh my god, they keep trying to manipulate everyone. And there's one of the gods who tried to manipulate, basically force this woman to kill Mata on several occasions. Like, oh, here's a knife. Like, think about what he's done to your brother, and so on and so on. But she fights him on every turn, and basically comes to terms with, like, okay, I can see you for who you are. Because throughout the book, she's trying to, like, embroider handkerchiefs and with the likeness of Mata, but there's always some flaws because she doesn't really see him, and then she realizes that he is basically he's just acting the way people want him to act and expect him to act because of his past of who he is, and what he's trying to do. And it's just the female characters are just wonderful, and I'm just pleasantly surprised at each turn. And this book has just sort of brought up so much emotions, and it's just such a good book. And yeah, I have 50 pages left. I'll get to it either today or tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, a great day of reading, I guess. Also, I did my nails, as you can see. This is like purple and just pink. And yeah, the sprints are still going. See, it's like they've been like 4 hours. I mean, it happens every Saturday, 4 hours or more of sprints. So that was fun. I basically have them in the background and while I'm reading and doing stuff. So yeah, that's it for this update. I guess the next one will be when I finish the book. Before I go, I know I mentioned it briefly, but I can't emphasize enough the military ingeniousness and inventiveness of this book. Like how this basically not steam not industry, but and not steam engines, but like I mean, incredible creations of how they manage to do stuff. It's amazing. It's such a fun thing to read, and I've never read anything like that. And it's just like, I mean, there was at one point they created like underwater ships to transfer armies under blockades. There was like we just saw parachutes like for the first time, like people jumping from like airships, and then deploying silk parachutes. Basically, it's fascinating. It's amazing. There's one where like people using jugs, like debris. So they bought like a bunch of jugs, ceramic jugs, to like be under them and then just float and use like a little oh my god, what do you call that thing you use to when you're snorkeling, the thing you use to breathe with? I don't know what that's called in English, but basically using something like that, like made out of like hollowed out wood and stuff. I mean, the science and the engineering in this book is just fascinating, and I'm not really into that kind of, but it's fascinating. So another plus for this book. I think this is going to be a 5-star book. I'm enjoying it so much. Just let's see how the ending goes. But yeah, anyway, awesome. Hi, I finished it. I'm done with The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I don't know what I expected from this book, and I know I got so much more. So first of all, what I expected basically is for this book not to be such a complete story. I expected like the whole rebellion against the emperor to last for the entirety of the book and so on, but we got the rebellion, we got the end of the rebellion, we get the conflict between the two friends and the ending and resolution of that conflict, and it's so good. It's so good, and I enjoyed it so much, and I'm just so curious what the second book is about. I have it somewhere on my bookshelf, so I'll check it out. But yeah, this is so good. I recommend it to, fans of history. I mean, not that it's like historically accurate or anything, but it has that historical feel, and it's a military fantasy. So there's also so much engineering and sort of military invention and stuff. Just it's so good. I mean, the characters are good. The female characters are good. Like they're like there's like beginnings and ends of everything, and as I mentioned, I think I mentioned it somewhere before that it gives me such a Jonathan Strange vibes, like with the world building and the details and everything. But it's amazing. This book is so awesome. 5 stars. I recommend it to anybody. It's a chunker, so it might take you a while to get through it, but it's so worth it, and it's so good. So this is my one book for the Asian Readathon that I had picked, and I've read it, and it's great. I think I did match all the criteria, all the three reading challenges that I picked this book for. So it is by an Asian author. The characters are Asians, or something like Asians that can be interpreted in the fantasy world, and it's not set in, and I read it in my favorite genre. And the fourth one, like not being centered in America or whatever, I'm not gonna choose that one because not fair. It's a fantasy world. So yeah. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've actually successfully participated in a readathon. There is 2 more weeks. There are 2 more weeks, yes, of May left, so you can read a bunch of other books by Asian authors if you wanna. You can pick up this one because it's really cool. But yeah, that's it for this reading log. Thank you so much for watching. There are some links, important links down below in the description box, so do check them out. Subscribe to this channel, press the bell button to get notifications, to check out more videos from me and my friend Christina. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!